So we do be recording now, though. We are
Mm-hmm.
recording. Okay,
We are recording.
sounds good. So welcome to the very first episode of the Let's Go to the Movies podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Andre, and
I'm the other host, Jesus.
there you go. Basically, this podcast is, if you weren't aware, all about movies, if you couldn't tell from the title. So what we do is every week we bring in maybe one, maybe two, maybe three movies, and we just talk about it and see where the conversation goes. But you guys won't know what movies we're talking about until you start listening to the podcast. So as you can see, the title for this one is Our Favorite Movies. So we won't tell you what those are until we start talking about it. The other thing with this podcast is hopefully every week we'll have a new guest that consists of people that reached out to us personally on TikTok or Instagram and filled out our guest form. And we'll just have them on and we'll talk about the movies that they want to talk about. And we'll just create this small little community together and see how it all goes. Anyway, are you ready, Jesus?
I am ready.
Hell yeah. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about our favorite movies, like I said earlier, and let's start with yours, Jesus. What is
Oh,
it?
really? Okay. Baby Driver is the one that I chose out of all the
Ooh.
movies that I've seen.
Edgar Wright.
Mostly because, like, I've always been one to like music, and I also like movies, and I feel like it's pretty obvious that movie pretty much encompasses like everything at once, and the same thing with the music and thing. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Before anything, apparently, when that movie was directed, the soundtrack was chosen before the screen was written and stuff. That's why some sequences of the movie are completely in time with the music, because
Okay.
yeah, the entire playlist of the movie and stuff was they wrote the script around that instead of the other way around.
Oh wow, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was
you
really
can
cool.
really tell. You could really tell that. Like this is only the second time that I've watched it,
Mm-hmm.
and you could really see that there was such like insane choreography
Yes,
with
exactly.
every little thing. Like when oh gosh, I can't remember the characters' names though. The boss, he like
Yeah.
was stacking money. It was like in tune with like each
Yeah.
beat in the song, or like tapping on the coffee and stuff. That was just so crazy.
Yeah, I think there was this one scene too where he was like playing with the windshield wipers.
Oh,
And
of
like
course.
those
Course.
they like synced up with the thing too. Yeah, I don't know. That's so cool to me how they did that.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
the cinematography in the movie is pretty good too.
For sure. Before we start going in deeper about Baby Driver, just gonna have to make it fully aware that we know that Kevin Spacey and Ansel Elgort were in this movie, and we know that they have many allegations. I'm unaware if there are any actual charges, but they are not the best figures in the industry right now. But we're gonna focus not on their acting skills or anything like that. We want to look at the rest of the movie, just to not give praise to people that are like that, because we want to make sure that we have just a positive environment here. We don't want to start talking about things that are in poor taste. But yeah. Anyways, Jesus, what would you say really makes this movie your favorite, though? I know you said that it was the music and how it kind of blends with the narrative and stuff, but like,
Yeah.
is there like particular scenes that like really just stood out or something like that?
The thing that always sticks to me like a lot is definitely spoiler alert here, obviously, but
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
at the near the end and near the end scene whenever he goes with Deborah, right?
Yeah.
They they steal this car. I think it was a Dodge Challenger, right? A red one.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
Or
and it fits in.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've noticed is that throughout the entire movie they preface in this like Americana sort of 50s theme, but they like intertwine it with the modern world. So
Oh,
like,
that's so true.
yeah, if you think about it, what was like the main car in the 50s and stuff? It was always the classic muscle cars, 50s, 60s, 70s, right?
Yeah.
You have the 69 Dodge Charger, which you have that classic like square body look, and of course the older Mustangs and stuff. One of the only cars that basically stays true to that design is the Challenger right now at this point, and I think that's like a homage to like, I don't know what they were trying to do with the movie. I don't know. It's just like there's all the little details and stuff about
Yeah,
how they wanted the characters and how they wanted the setting and the story and everything to be. I just really liked it as how it came together.
you're definitely right. Like Edgar Wright, the director, I just love his work so much. Like his Three Flavors of Cornetto trilogy, which I won't talk about now because we'll
Which
definitely
other
end up talking about
movies?
those. Oh, those are like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's
Oh, okay,
End.
okay.
Those ones are like categorized together
Oh, Hot
as
Fuzz. I
like
like that
the
movie.
yeah, so good. We'll talk about those at a different time though, but because don't want to branch ourselves out too thin right here. But yeah, like Edgar Wright's just the way that he choreographs everything, it's just insane. Everything
Yeah.
is cut down to the bare minimum of what is necessary for each shot. Like he doesn't linger on anything. He makes it to the point for each moment after moment. It's just perfect. And there's like so many like little things that are added in this movie that are insane that has to do with the music. Like I don't know if you noticed this, but like this is the first time that I really noticed it because it's only my second time watching it. So I was really
Mm.
paying attention now. The opening like sequence has the lyrics of the song that's playing all
Mhm.
around like the street setting.
I
Like
didn't
as he's
notice that.
like as he's walking down the street on like the street lamps, it shows the lyrics like on like a poster board, or it shows graffiti spray painted on the walls with the next bit of
Whoa.
lyrics as he's walking by in this like super long like this long take of
Yeah.
baby walking around the city getting the coffee. It's just
That.
insane like how everything is
Yeah.
so precise. Um
And I'm looking here too. One of the other movies that he directed was The Adventures of Tinsel. Have you seen that one?
oh, of course.
Oh, that movie
Loved
has some.
those books, so
Yeah.
I love the movie.
Oh, the book. I never actually read the books.
I mean, you're absolutely right saying that the movie is like centered around this film. Like you said, the soundtrack was decided before the movie was shot,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely think that this is like more so a music movie with like a heist plot within it because the music
Yeah.
is what is the main focus to me,
Yeah.
at least. I was just like looking up analysis of this movie, kind of just
Mm-hmm.
seeing what people like the base level things that people were taking from it analytically because we're not at all professionals in any
No.
way. So we're not
Yeah.
going to be taking the most intense view on movies. We're just here to relax and talk about it. But like me, like kind of as somebody who's studying film in university, it's like interesting to see what people are coming up with it. And like what I
Mm-hmm.
found is that a lot of people are talking about escapism in this movie. And like
Mm-hmm.
this is definitely not an original thought. This has definitely been said multiple times, but like usually with action movies, it's like the escape is for the audience to like go into this world where violence and all of this like action-packed sequences and stuff are not impossible.
Yeah.
Whereas like in most of our lives, like I haven't done that type of stuff. I'm assuming you haven't either, but
No, I
I
have
don't really
not.
know. Um, but yeah, it's like what I like noticed with this movie though is like while it is an action movie and it could kind of provide that like escapism to some audience members,
Mm-hmm.
it's really more like an escapist film for the character of Baby, because like
Yeah.
he's trying to use this music that the whole movie is based around with the soundtrack to
Mm-hmm.
escape that world of action. It's as if like he's an audience member that got the taste of what the action life is like and he doesn't want it. He wants to escape. He
Yeah,
wants the
because
reverse of what the audience wants.
he's like a normal person, and I think it's just now occurring to me too. He uses the music to like block out some tinnitus, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And like that kind of coincides with the thing because that's I suppose you could see that as like a symbolic sort of thing. as like how the music provides him an escape from his tinnitus. It also does from
Oh, for sure.
the real world of what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like it's drowning out. It's two birds with one stone.
yeah, exactly. One of the scenes that I really liked was whenever they were, I think it was one of the first ones, one of the first heists. Whenever they're getting away, and he was in it was a red car, and
Yeah.
they were cruising down the highway, right? And they had
Mhm.
to evade the things. So like these other two cars came, and then they had to like go through the tunnel,
Oh
and then they
yeah,
kind of swapped with each other,
like the
and
sleight
then
of
they
hand,
both
but
all
with
went separate
cars.
roads. Yeah, exactly. Like sort of magician's trick, like close up magic, but not.
But like on the road,
Yeah,
in
exactly,
in
exactly.
a
With like
vehicle.
full size cars. That's some David Blaine junk right there.
But yeah, it's just this whole movie is just insane the way that it's all put together. Like this is the first time I listened to it just with headphones because in my apartment, I'll just be straight up. We don't have a TV, me and my roommates. We only watch movies on our laptops together. And so I plugged in my headphones and I knew this before, but I never experienced it. The audio is set up in like with the stereo functions. So like the sound passes from the right side to the left side or the other way around. And so everything is just so perfectly done with like
Yeah, it's like
with the
dynamic.
music. He takes out one earbud and so then it's only on the other side that you can hear the music now. It's
Yeah.
so perfectly done with all that stuff. Oh man, it's just beautiful. Like the way that all the elements got put together into this final product that I honestly never would have expected from. I mean, I could have expected it from Edgar Wright, maybe, but like it's not at all like
It's not something you
his
see in movies
comedies that
very
you see.
often.
Yeah, and it's not at all like the comedies that he typically did with
Yeah.
Nick Frost and oh no, I forget the other guy, Simon Pegg. Oh no, I
Oh
forgot
yeah.
his name. Oh shit. Um, but yeah, so I kind of want to get your opinion, Jesus, on
Yeah.
John Hamm's performance, who
John
played
Hamm.
Buddy.
I forgot. Hold on. Which one is Buddy?
Buddy,
again?
like the last one that's alive in the crew.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Oh, I just want to know like what you thought of like the character.
Of his character.
Yeah,
He.
compared to Bats actually,
Yeah.
because
He had.
I have thoughts about that.
He's the one with the his whenever his girlfriend died, right? And he got like
Yeah.
super messed up about that. He was a really interesting character because at the same time he served as like basically like the boss's first mate, right? Like he was the one that was relied upon the most, and he was like pretty much one of the main characters of the thing because Jamie Foxx's character, he got killed pretty early on because it was established that he was basically the antagonist of the beginning part of the movie.
Yeah,
I
he's
just thought
insane.
like he had he did have some layers, but not like in the aspect that you'd expect. Not like, okay, well, he's kind of a good guy, kind of a bad guy, but at the same time, I kind of ended up feeling bad for him. Like,
Yeah, you're right. Like
dang,
he just lost his wife and now
yeah,
he's kind of like on a revenge rampage, which is
yeah.
completely understandable.
But at the same
Well,
time, like
but
it
also
was
not.
Baby's fault.
But at the same time, it was Baby's
Yeah,
fault. So it's
exactly.
like
Yeah,
it's kind of like
I
don't
can
know who
see
to
where it's
trust.
coming from, but I'm like, I don't know if you should take it that far. I really liked the way he was portrayed as that sort of like the cool, sort of easygoing dude, and he's just kind of chill.
Yeah.
And then he snaps at that final moment because, yeah, everything's taken away from him at once.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I've seen John Hamm, the guy that portrays Buddy in Baby Driver, in only like a handful of other roles. Like I've seen him.
He's not. He doesn't
in
really come out very often.
Yeah, he was in Mad Men. He was the main character in Mad Men, Don Draper.
I haven't seen that.
I've only seen parts of it. I have to still finish it, but it's like kind of like this suave advertising guy, but like he's still not the best character at all. He's like still a massive a-hole to everybody.
Yeah, to everybody else.
Basically. But then he was also in this an episode of Black Mirror called White Christmas, and his performance in that specific episode of Black Mirror, I think is somewhat close to Baby Driver in different ways, because in White Christmas, the way that Buddy acts, no, it's not Buddy, sorry, John Hamm, it's not the character. The way that John Hamm acts in White Christmas is kind of as this friendly character who's supposed to kind of be friends or kind of helping out the other main character in the episode.
Yeah.
But I think who's played by Rafe Spall. I might be mistaken there, but yeah. So his character, he kind of like, okay, he's also done weird stuff. That's why he turned up in this same space. But then at the very end, you realize, oh no, he's been a bad guy this whole time too.
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
working against the main character the whole time. So it's kind of like the similar switch, but with Buddy in Baby Driver, I was just more scared of that character. Like genuinely, Buddy terrified me more than
he was
Bats.
intimidating. He was like really intimidating.
Like, yeah, like I said, Buddy to me was way scarier than Jamie Foxx's Bats, because like he's just the loose cannon for the whole crew. Like you can't trust him.
I think what made Buddy so like intimidating in that fact was like he was unpredictable. Because,
exactly.
Like, you always saw him as that character, and then at the end you see him just unwind like that. And then, like you said, Jamie Foxx's character, you just kind of expected it from him. You know, you expect
him to be unexpected. You expect him to like do crazy shit, but like
you see Baby say something like, oh yeah, obviously, like you know that it's gonna get some sort of reaction out of him.
Exactly. And then Buddy, it's just he's so composed throughout the whole movie until, oh gosh, I forget the Darling. Is that his wife's name in the movie? The code name she gets.
Yeah.
We'll just say Darling. I could be completely wrong, but the way that like he just completely loses that composure once Darling dies, whereas like you kind of saw him get hints of that towards the end, like once Baby decides to leave, once he decides to go out at 2 a.m. and then
off the rails.
And then he gets caught by Buddy in like the parking garage. There you kind of start to see, oh no, like this character, like he's scary.
Yeah, he's kind of unhinged.
Because then like Jamie Foxx comes in with like his like character just being crazy, and so it's just like, okay, like there's nothing to be surprised with here. Like
exactly. Consistent.
It's consistently insane. That's what Bats was trying to do. And it's like interesting because I don't know if you noticed this. You probably did, but with the second heist in the movie, which was the first one with Bats, and like flee the bass player from Red Hot Chili Peppers, he was like one of the other guys in the heist, and I just love it whenever Flea's in a movie because he's just always plays such similar characters of like this insane guy. Yeah. But Bats being in that specific heist, that's like the first time that the music cues got screwed up.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the heist itself didn't really go the way it was supposed to.
Exactly. People died, which like never happened when John Hamm was in charge and stuff. It's just like, so you can kind of guess that Bats is the bad omen of it all, even though like, because like Buddy was like saying, oh, Baby's the bad omen, you're the bad luck at the very end, right before Darling died. But then but it's actually technically it all started when Bats showed up, because he just said he didn't care, and he like killed people during the heists, which I don't know if Spacey's character ever mentioned anything about being against that, but seeing as how the first scene went, it's completely different compared to the rest of the heist.
Yeah, I reckon it was more of a way that like we shouldn't kill people because it's inconvenient for us, you know?
Okay.
Like it leaves behind messier things. I'm not sure if it's explicitly stated either, but like I was thinking that in a thing, so it's not so much out of morality, it's more out of like it leaves more evidence with the bullets, and then you have to worry about the guns. and you have to worry about any sort of blood spatter or anything else, witnesses especially.
That could make
And if you,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, if you do ever get caught, that's so much more that can be pinned on you instead of a heist, or at least an attempted heist in any
So
sort of
it's
situation.
so it's logic based. It's
Yeah,
the characters weren't trying to
because all of
add
them are like
something
almost
to their
completely
like
immoral. Yeah,
exactly. They're like except for well no, Baby's also
he was nice to that bank teller lady, but at the same time, there were some instances where his morals were kind of askew. Like,
exactly, yeah. Like his yeah, you're right. Baby's
I feel like it's
character
more of a heat of
was
the moment thing, though.
yeah, his was less calculated. Like his were
Yeah,
less were more like, "Oh, I got to get out of the situation." Or
it was emotional.
it was more like he was working with it like through his heart than his brain.
Yeah,
Whereas Bats his character doesn't seem like he can use either because he's
no,
just completely
yeah,
unhinged and derailed. He just doesn't
yeah.
care. He just wants to bring anarchy.
And I feel like the fact that we don't get much backstory from him kind of adds to that effect.
Yeah, you just get to know him. You don't get to know why he's like that. He's just like that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't he kill like somebody at the convenience store?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was
Speaking
implied.
of, actually, none of the characters really. You don't really know that much about them,
No, you only get to know
other than
about
the
Baby.
fact that, other than the fact that, like, of course, they have other lives apart from the warehouse, but other than that, they're an enigma. Like, I didn't realize that until now.
That's true. Like you get the little bit of hints as to like the accident that
Mm-hmm.
Baby's parents and him were in when he was a kid.
Yeah.
You get to know like through one piece of random dialogue that the old man that he lives with, I think his name's Joe. I could be completely wrong again, but you find out through one piece of dialogue that that's his foster father.
Yeah.
Nothing else is like said. Spacey's character says it one time how Baby was caught stealing his car and that's how he got ringed up working for him.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you telling me just stealing a car like that, and that's already
Yeah, it's just like
he's already in. How young was he? How long has they been in the business? Because it
we have
seems like
no
they have some
idea.
pretty good. Yeah, exactly.
Like it's all just throwaway lines, not throwaway lines, because there shouldn't be many throwaway lines in a movie, but it's like things that go so under the radar that if you're just not really paying attention,
Yeah, I'm
then
pretty sure there can be a second one. Maybe it'll shed some light.
maybe. But then again, where else would the story go? They're all dead.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. Another thing that I've noticed, and I really wanted to bring to attention: why does Baby always wear sunglasses?
oh, interesting. That's true.
It's not like he's not picky about the ones that he wears. Okay, there's always two things about him. He always wears sunglasses, and he's always listening to music.
Yeah,
The sunglasses part, you do see him taking them off or stuff like that. But why is it that he risks his capture in the mall to grab another pair of sunglasses after he
that's
changes his
you're
clothes, after he puts on that
exactly
other
right.
jacket?
He waits.
And he grabs other ones and he shoves them in his pockets.
That's
So
so
whenever he
true.
runs away, and one of his lenses gets broken,
He just
he
changes them
swaps
out.
them out. Yeah, so like, why is it important? And then like the tinting doesn't matter. It's not like he likes it darker and stuff because he had the yellow ones. So
I
like,
was
it's just
thinking
something in front of his eyes.
it could be. Ooh, ooh. What if I was thinking initially it could just be like, him trying to hide his identity from like the cameras and stuff. Like there was that one scene with like the red
Yeah,
light cam, but you can still
yeah.
those don't mask anything. You can tell who
No, they
someone
don't.
is with
The rest
sunglasses
of his
on.
face is completely
You can
open.
still
Like,
see who it is. So it could
and like with
be
the yellow sunglasses, that doesn't do anything.
so what it yeah, exactly. So what it could be though is just another level of escapism. Like he's trying to not only
Yeah,
change what he's hearing, he's trying to change what he's seeing.
speaking of actually, like there's some I that yes no, but like I wear glasses, right? Of course, I
Yeah,
wear them all the time. I'm completely blind. I cannot even drive without my glasses too. I see the things that I see through my glasses as something different than I see with my regular eyes. I'm not sure
yeah.
if that's a thing that other people do. Like,
It makes sense though.
Yeah,
I
but
understand that.
I'll yeah, because with my because I have different glasses for different like things that I'm doing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I have, of course, my sunglasses for whenever I'm outside, whenever I'm driving. I don't wear them other than that, or if I'm outside or anything like that.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, it's like it adds another layer of what you see. So like when you see something and then you take those off, it's like it's stored information in the lenses. I guess if that makes sense. Like sort of, it's like a departure from reality in a way. If
Yeah.
that even makes any sense, it makes me sound insane, but I
No,
don't
no, no,
know.
no, no, no. It makes sense to me. That's on track with kind of what I was saying. It's like a different.
Yeah,
It's a different. It's a way to kind of mask what you're really
it's like
seeing.
hiding behind them.
Yeah. So that could be exactly what he's doing. Because if at the very end when he's with Deborah, he's not wearing them anymore because he doesn't have to. He's
Mm-hmm.
like
Or whenever
gone,
he's at home, he doesn't wear
or
them.
whenever he's at home because he's away from that dangerous world. It's only when he's in that setting that he needs the music, and he
Yeah,
needs, well, no, he needs the music other places, but he doesn't need it
yeah,
like
because he
in his
plays at
ears.
Joe's house.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
doesn't need
yeah,
it like
yeah,
with the earbuds or anything. So
yeah.
it's, yeah, he needs the music. He needs the sunglasses to.
And it's been established that like he doesn't like anything that he's doing.
That's also true. Yeah, we understand that
So
like he
maybe that
doesn't
is
like
like a
it.
departure from reality. Cool.
Dang.
Hmm. I haven't even thought about that.
But yeah, like that's kind of like exactly,
The sort of layers
yeah, the sort of layers I was thinking about for this movie. Like it's an escapist film, not for us, but for the characters
for
in it.
him. Yeah, we're kind of witnessing that.
Yeah, like even Deborah is looking for that escape too. She's wanting to
Yeah,
get
quite
on the
in a literal
road,
sense.
go west, not have any plans. That's her escape.
Yeah, let's drive
And
and then like
as
the rest
far
of
as we
it.
know, she gets it at the very end.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whereas like the other characters, we don't really get the sense that they want the escape or anything like that. They all have their own selfish kind of materialistic wants,
Mm-hmm.
or well, at least for Buddy and Darling, and for Spacey's character. I can't for the life of me think of his character's name. I have to look that up. Oh my god. Um, but yeah, like we don't get to know their motives other than money. We kind of get the hint that Buddy was on Wall Street and went corrupt, but we don't get to know truly what they're about, like their characters. We don't get the depth
Yeah.
as much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we get depth with Buddy because like we see his, like we talked about earlier, like the slow drop to like losing his composure. But
Yeah.
that's as much as we get with Spacey's character. It's all just the same.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like his character's name is, oh, it's Doc.
Doc.
Okay, why did I not remember that? I don't know. But
I
yeah,
don't
it's
remember that
Doc.
either.
There you go.
I'm bad with names.
That's all good. But yeah, like that's kind of all that I have to say about Baby Driver, though. Is there any other like big points though?
Not really that I can think of. I think we could pretty much touched all bases with the thing.
Cool, because
Yeah.
absolutely we can like bring back movies that we've already talked about if a guest
Yeah.
has a different take on it, because we won't be going as in depth as possible on different topics, but
Mm-hmm.
that's why we want guests every week or every other week to bring in that extra level of analysis into the movies that we look at. So
Yeah, like another viewpoint on their
on
like
the
how
movie,
they see it.
exactly. So yeah, so that's Baby Driver. And next up is what my favorite movie is. My all-time favorite movie since it was released. I think it came out in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. But it's also a movie that I consider to be based around the. Oh, it's 2014. Oh my god. Whoa. All right. Cool. But I consider it to be a movie that's based around the music. Like the music drives the plot to a certain extent, but it's more character heavy than Baby Driver.
Yeah, definitely. Like the music is, it's the difference is the music is produced instead of like in the background.
Exactly. Like the music is made. Well, for the most part, it's made within the movie. So the movie that I'm talking about is Whiplash, the Oscar winner with where J.K. Simmons won Best Supporting Actor for the highly abusive music teacher that he acted with Miles Teller, who played the student drummer that just wants to be the best. Like that. Oh man, I have so much love for this movie. It's insane. I've already talked with Jesus about this, but I've played the drums for close to 13 years now. I think, or it will be 13 years this coming fall. And
Were you speaking of actually? Were you taught or did you like
oh
teach
yeah,
yourself?
no, I was taught.
Oh, okay,
That's like
okay.
one of the few things that I did as an extracurricular was I took drum lessons in from when I was 9 years old till, well, I
Damn.
stopped after I graduated from high school, but yeah, so I was with the
Damn.
same drum teacher for, oh god, like 8 to 9 years, maybe even more than that.
Mm,
But it was,
yeah.
yeah, so all of my music ability, well, other than from my mom who's a musician herself, but like all of my love of drumming and my talent in that is all thanks to my drum instructor John. But yeah, so I was already probably, oh god, how old am I now? Okay, I was 13 when Whiplash came out, or
Mm,
turning 14, I think. I don't exactly remember, but I watched this after it was gone from theaters. I watched it like on demand or something like that at home.
yeah.
And this movie, I didn't understand the emotional depth at the time because
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that it was a movie about this younger drummer being abused by this awful uh, person of seniority in his life.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I didn't really look as much into it, but so I just kind of was enjoying the music for it because it's all about jazz, which a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't like, but personally,
For some
I,
reason.
yeah, for some reason, if you can like whatever the heck you want, I don't care.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I personally am a big fan of jazz, and so this movie was just insane. And we finished it about 10 p.m. or something like that, and I instantly went and played the drums in our basement for like an hour and a half to 2 hours or something. I
Damn.
didn't care about the neighbors and it being like close to midnight. But
Yeah, you just
that
kind of
movie
went ham
just,
at it.
yeah, it just gave me so much inspiration and love for the instrument that I play. But that was when I first watched it. Watching
Mm-hmm.
it now is terrifying to me. Like
It's an entirely different.
I still absolutely love the movie, but it's a completely different take on it when I'm watching it now. But I'll talk about that later. I want to know what your thoughts on it were because this is the first time you've seen this.
Yes, it is. I after I saw it, I was watching some analyses.
I think so.
Whatever. It's yeah. I was watching one of those, right?
Yeah,
And it was J.K. Simmons' character. I forgot his name already. Fletcher.
Fletcher. Yeah.
Yeah, that man is insane. Like
Mm-hmm.
really, I I understand that he's helping him become like Andrew. He's helping Andrew become the person that he really wants to become.
Like the next Buddy
And Fletcher
Rich.
himself, yeah, wants to see him achieve that, and like he will do it by any means necessary. And he does not feel any remorse for that. Like
Mm-hmm.
he has pride in what he does, and it's completely within himself because he even got fired from his job
Because of the
because of the
abuse
way
he
he was
was
treating
doing.
these.
Exactly.
Yes, but he believed in himself so much that he went out of his way to help Andrew, even though Andrew like he quit.
Yeah.
Because you know that he saw something in that. And in one way it is respectable because he has so much drive and ambition to like help these students.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, should it really be taken that far? And again, if he if he's acting so selflessly to help these students, do you think in a way he pushes it to be selfish?
I
Like,
would say even just off the bat that like because it's abuse, it's not selfless. It's not selfless at all. In his mind, it could
mhm.
be he could be perceiving it as selfless acts. He's saying, "Oh, I'm just pushing them to be the best." Like
Yeah,
similar to I guess Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen, but
yeah,
with Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen, like it's a character basically. Like you expect him to do that because it's like pushing them in a stressful environment to do better.
yeah. Because
Whereas,
we do see him kind of wind down some.
yeah, but then it's like with Fletcher in Whiplash, he's just going on in what's supposed to be not a stressful environment. It's a classroom in a university.
Yeah,
It is like the higher level band. I'm not in a music school. I'm not in a music department, so I don't necessarily know the intricacies of that. But just based off of even my high school music experience and my taking lessons with my drum instructor over the years, that's not the environment that you should be getting. It should be more relaxed. It should be supportive because you're creating art. You're
yeah,
creating something together. It's supposed to be collaborative, and so you can't work in collaboration it's not if respect isn't being reciprocated.
yeah. Because like I do understand that people learn in different ways, but like, yeah, I'm not sure if you take it that far.
Yeah.
And that this also the entire movie just gave me this really interesting vibe. I took a jazz class before,
Okay.
and yeah, I've taken a music and a jazz class, and I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it, but like it's a sort of curse supposedly that most jazz performers or like any sort of great musician or great anything comes with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see like I forgot his name, but he's a guitarist. He was an old jazz guitarist. He supposedly made a deal with the devil at the crossroads, right?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
then
yeah.
eventually all of that comes to bite him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's sort of story through out of all this ambition and through all the work that he's willing to do, he's given up so much. Like, what's that going to end up as?
Exactly.
We know so many jazz musicians because they were great musicians, but if you look into their character, they were awful people. So like it's sort of a
That's so true.
trade-off with the
Exactly.
thing. So like that's you see Andrew spiraling down that. And the thing that I want to know is why does Fletcher want to drag that out of him so badly? Like what does he have to gain through Andrew?
What
Is it
does he
like
have to gain?
vicarious?
I mean, he could be living vicariously through Andrew in a sense because I mean, this is an awful generalization, but like for example in the movie Soul, if you've seen Soul, like the main character,
Yeah, I
he's
have.
like wants to be this great musician, but then he's just now a music teacher.
Yeah, he
And
gives up so much
in
and then
that
he
movie
just falls.
specifically, like he's kind of like treating it as though it's not as great of a job as it could be, even though being a music teacher could be amazing because you're teaching
Yeah.
these students this amazing art and this amazing skill
Hmm.
that they could love for the rest of their life. But Fletcher, I feel like, despite being such a notoriously good uh, music, oh god, what's the word? Director. I mean, not
Hmm.
necessarily good in character, but good as in he's good at what he does.
Hmm.
Like just having that notoriety could be just maybe not enough. Like he wants to feel in control. And so kind of
Yeah,
like just
that's
saying that, just having be able to say, I made Andrew Neiman what he is,
yeah.
kind of could be what it was, especially since his old, I think it was a trumpet player in the film, like Fletcher's old student uh,
Hmm.
committed suicide just because of all of the abuse that he
The
was receiving
abuse.
from
Yeah.
Fletcher. But it's like, even
Yeah.
regardless of that, the abuse doesn't stop. Like you see a moment of sincerity in Fletcher's character when
Hmm.
he finds this out, but you just once the film ends. Okay, yeah, I want to talk about the film's ending actually because this is once the
Okay.
film ends, you see how the power dynamic is
Changes.
is is somewhat changed, but like if you look into it, it really isn't. Like, this is my own biased view because I've just watched this movie so many times and I love it so much that I think too much on it, really. But I made for like a film class I had last year at my university, our final project was to like make this film website and put content on it. So I made a video essay talking about the ending of Whiplash and how I consider it to be an extremely dark ending. Because yes, it is one of the best drum performances I've ever heard. I don't know who actually played the recording, but
I think it was him.
I don't think so. I know what you mean though. Like in interviews, Miles Teller did play a lot of the drums, like himself in the movie. But I think the very ending, like at least in the soundtrack album recording, which was like used for the film, I think it's like a mixture of him and someone else. But so I don't know.
Like refined a little further.
It could be refined, but I'm not sure. But with like that most like insane piece of music, like you see kind of, oh, Andrew thinks he has control now because he cut off Fletcher. He cut off the clapping because he just continued to solo. He won't stop playing until he gives the cue because Andrew wants to have control. But like in the end part of that solo, once Fletcher realizes that, oh no, he can get the upper hand on me, Fletcher takes it back. He gains the power again. And the way that I think he does this is there's like a specific movement that he does that's repeated in the very first scene of the movie and the very last scene of the movie. He takes off his coat and he throws it away, almost like in preparation to do what looks like some sort of physical activity. Because like J.K. Simmons was jacked in this movie. Like,
surprisingly,
he was in super healthy physical shape. And in the first scene, he takes off his jacket in the same way at the end, but in the first scene, he takes it off to cut off Andrew and to say, "Hey, don't be like a toy monkey. Don't just play those rudiments. I want to like hear your actual playing." And so he's just trying to control Andrew, telling him what to play. Hey, play me a double time swing. Go on. And so at the beginning, you already see that control. He's wearing black, a dark color. I know it's cliche to talk about color in movies, but I don't really care. It's relevant. It's relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's wearing that dark, like very intense compared to the lighting in the opening scene, at least. Like he's just kind of this ominous presence, and then he just disappears out of nowhere. The door slams and he's gone. But then at the very end, and so at the beginning, Andrew knows after that scene that, oh, Fletcher has had the power in that moment because Andrew feels defeated once Fletcher left. So like you can tell that there was an impact of it. But at the very end, Andrew thinks that has the power. He thinks that he's not conforming to what Fletcher wants. But Andrew's now wearing black as well. He's matching the level that Fletcher wants him to do. Whereas at the beginning he was wearing white. He was wearing light colors in the opening scene, so he was more independent, but now he's conforming to what Fletcher wanted. So Fletcher does the same motion of throwing the jacket, which to me is like the cue of I'm taking over, you don't have power anymore. And what the camera does is a very, very slight high angle, which means that the camera's like pointed up, but it's like very slightly. It's like from almost waist level looking up at Fletcher, but it's like a 2-second moment. I know this so well just because it's like scripted for my video essay, so sorry if it sounds like I'm rambling, but it's like slightly just tilted up, and it goes in close on Fletcher for like a 2-second moment as all the lights on the stage are facing his back, so he's almost this silhouette, and he has his arms up as though he's ready to bring them down for the final note. And so in that moment, he brings it up. There's the close-ups of both Fletcher and Andrew's eyes, and you see Andrew is no longer making the count. Fletcher is counting. You can tell by like the way his face is moving that he's mouthing like 1, 2, 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's counting the cue. Andrew isn't doing it anymore like he was doing it before. And then as soon as Fletcher brings his arms down, Andrew keeps going, and then he finishes the song. And so it's like it's a complete power battle for that whole solo, because you think that, oh, Fletcher got the upper hand because he tricked Andrew into playing a song he didn't know. Andrew left. His father was like, forget about it. You can move on. He comes back. He cuts off Fletcher and starts playing Caravan.
Mm-hmm.
It does this whole thing. Fletcher kind of takes control again because the song plays. Then the song ends solo. And then it's like what I just said. So it's like endlessly back and forth. But in the end, it's like, oh no, Andrew lost. And so this obsession has taken over him.
Yeah. So
like,
it's like a bittersweet ending.
Exactly. And so it's quite the opposite of Baby Driver in a way. Like, well, with Baby Driver, like you see Baby leave that world once he's paid his due for like a brief moment, but then he's forced to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but then he ends up escaping at the very end. And so with Andrew, you see in the similar way, he's stuck in this awful negative space of abuse and, well, not to mention homophobia, because Fletcher keeps on spitting out slurs throughout the movie sometimes. But that's a completely other discussion that we might talk about another time. But so we see this endless cycle of obsession going through Andrew, and so he's finally free of it halfway through, or like 2/3 of the way through after his car accident, because the whole hearing is done. Fletcher loses his job. He's working at Andrew's working at a pizza place or something like that, but
it's some restaurant.
He's already lost his love interest though. Like that part of his life he already screwed up because of his obsession.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the very end, so you think that like, oh, this is like the happy place. This is like where he needs to be. But then when you watch it for the first time, you think, oh wait, no. The very ending, he got what he wanted. Now he's in his happy place. But he really isn't, because he's still under Fletcher's thumb. He's still, if he goes on to be this great musician, he still was pushed there by this terribly abusive person, and he's just kind of ruined his mental state forever, because he's now prioritizing even his relationship with his father. No, he's not. He's prioritizing music over his relationship with his father, over his personal life, his personal well-being. Because, like, as you see, like, there's finally a moment of sincerity with his dad when he gives him a hug at the end. But it's also kind of feels like it's an "I told you so," because the dad was consistently a dick throughout the whole movie. But like, once Andrew leaves and he just goes off on this solo, you see that one close up of the dad watching through the door, and he's just in shock.
He sees that he lost his son.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, you're so right. That is exactly it. He sees that he lost his son. That's a perfect point. I didn't know how to say it. You put it the exact words that I needed. He lost his son to this obsession, and it's just so tragic. And oh man, I can just talk about that movie endlessly. It's just beautiful. One thing I'm like surprised about though, like, it's called Whiplash, and we hear the song Whiplash.
Yeah,
but that's not the most important song.
No, it's Caravan.
Exactly. So
what's it called? Whiplash.
I mean,
which one is the song that? Hold on. What song was it that Fletcher purposely made him mess up because he didn't give him any of the music?
That one was called Swing Time, or not Swinging, or Swing. It's something with the word swing in it. I'm looking it up right now.
So when did he play Whiplash?
That was the very beginning.
But there's
Upswinging. Sorry, Upswinging is the one that he got screwed up with. But Whiplash is not the very beginning. Sorry, that's the first
because
class.
It's the one that he knows. It's the one that he knows by memory, right?
Yeah.
Because he lost his sheet music
Or
or
like,
something like that.
I think he knew the whole catalog, but that's like the one that they focused on. And it's like the first class when Andrew sits in, where he gets like the symbol thrown at him. Is it a symbol or is it a chair? No, it's a chair. When he gets the chair thrown at him, that they're playing Whiplash. So that's it could just be because like the central, like that's like what I'd say the most well-known scene of the movie is that, I don't know how long it is, 15 to 20 minute class scene when it's just the trombone player gets kicked out and just everybody gets berated with these terrible slurs, and then the chair gets thrown at Andrew, and that's like the "Are you rushing or are you dragging?" moment, which
he says rushing,
which is just like terrifying. But actually, kind of going back to what you were saying, like, is it selfless because he just wants to push these people so far? I was like, he's just like such a monster that it's not selfless anymore. Like, he just wants these people. He thinks that you need to hurt to be great.
Yeah.
Because of that one story that he told about somebody getting a chair thrown at them. And like, that's kind of like a moment where you kind of see, oh, why does he prioritize that story over anything else? You can see that he thinks that that's how you are great. You become great by being treated awfully and by being taken to the lowest level of self-worth possible to finally get brought up by everybody else after they... Sorry about that, guys. We had a brief moment in the audio that it just for some reason cut out for no reason for a good minute, so I'm just going to explain the point here. Fletcher just believed that you would be praised by the audience as these big musical figures, but you had to be taken down and you had to be belittled before you could get there. And that's exactly what he did with one of his older students who ended up killing himself. And when Fletcher finds that out, it's one of the few moments of sincerity that we get from his character, but it's tragic for that student, but we still see that he doesn't really care. I also want to take this time to just thank you guys for listening, and if you want, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, and just keep listening every week. It's our first time doing this, and we just hope to build a nice little community. Thank you.
He seems kind of sad, but what I heard in one of the analyses that I saw was that he wasn't so much sad that the student killed himself, or the fact that he would he personally drove somebody to do that. He's more sad about the fact that he now lost somebody who could have had such a bright future.
Okay.
Because they have like this lost potential now.
Yeah.
That they cannot continue anymore. And they said like that's really the true reason why he even felt that like sympathy or sort of remorse. Because he lost his chance with that one person.
So he was like seeing the talent rather than the individual behind it.
Yeah. Because he's driving these people to be the best they can be. Like, that he really wants them to make a name for himself. That he wants them to go down in history, right? And now that they're gone, there is no way that could ever happen. That's his entire job. Like, that's what he wants.
Yeah.
And when he sees that doesn't happen, it's sad for him.
It's terribly sad, and there's just so many things that just it just demonstrates how almost unaware Andrew was to his treatment, and because that's the saddest part. It's he doesn't, or he's either unaware or he's so aware that he's more scared of the punishment, or he's more scared of the effect. And so
that's the thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
He chose to continue.
Yeah.
Like, he quit, right? And then but he chose to continue. He chose to keep going to the classes. So I mean, in a way, it's kind of his fault too.
To a certain point, but then again, we get to see the manipulative character in Fletcher.
Oh, like, Fletcher, yeah, that's
like,
true.
He's like playing. We see this other side of him. He's playing smooth jazz. He's on the piano, he's like very calm and relaxed, and he's saying, "Hey, it's nice to see you again, Andrew. How are you doing? We're doing this show if you want to play it, all the old classics that we used to play." Basically gaslighting Andrew into forgetting the abuse that he was treated to. And then
And it
it
worked.
worked, and it worked. And that's the scary part, because we get to see him go there bright-eyed, ready to make this big performance for this very important show, and then it's time to play Upswingin', and everything just crashes down. Fletcher comes and says,
Yeah.
"I know it." Right before he says Upswingin', Fletcher says, "I know it was you," or something along those lines. And it's like the scariest moment in the film. Everything crashes down, and you realize that, oh, it's the same cycle over and over again. You can't escape it now. It's too late. And we see that obsession again with the whole series of events that leads up to the car accident. The bus breaks down. Already not a good moment. You're not supposed to make it there in time. So he runs to the car dealership. He forgets his sheet music. Was it the sheet music or the sticks?
It was the sticks.
Okay. Yeah, he forgets the sticks. And I think, wasn't like the other drummer saying, "No, you can't use my sticks"?
Yeah, he was being like super mean about it.
Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, the other drummers were like, "No, you can't use my sticks," which once again shows that.
But
like,
then again, like they kind of do have a point, because like they deteriorate pretty fast,
Exactly.
especially the way that he plays.
Yeah.
So like I think out of like 2 seconds.
And as a drummer, I was in a situation before where at a performance, another drummer had to use my kit and my sticks, and he just was battering, like he was just playing the shit out of it way too hard. And I was like, I hate watching this happen, because why didn't he have his
It's
own
like, yeah,
kit?
they're percussion instruments, but relax,
Yeah,
bro.
it's like,
Jeez.
come on, you can get the same level of sound if you're softer. But that's besides the point, though. But like we see like just how obsessive everybody is. Like those drummers, the other ones are almost as far in it as Andrew, but it's just because they don't get as much attention that they're almost more free than Andrew's character. But like we still see, like, it's just tragic how he's almost, I would say, acting out of fear when he's just constantly trying to get back until the car accident happens, and then he's still wanting to get back because it's either it's probably like a mixture of his obsession, but also like his fear of not being the best, his fear of not making it. That's just
like all of his work being for
it being for nothing, and it's just kind of willing to put his literal life on the line for something that could at the very end up being trivial if it doesn't work out. Like it could end up being that he doesn't become that excellent musician, and so all that physical abuse he endured, all that self-abuse, all that emotional abuse was it just led to him being in the same spot.
Yeah, he puts more of himself into it when he knows, like, well, I've already come this far, so I might as well keep going, right? But the more he goes, the harder the fall is going to be, because he's already putting more in, and it's just kind of like this endless cycle.
For sure.
Another thing that I noticed is that he did get, like, I don't know what that's called, between your index finger and your thumb, like that part of your flesh, it started bleeding and stuff, right? Because of how much practicing he did.
Yeah, I don't know what that spot in your hand is called, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, that little meaty part, you know. At the end, whatever he's playing, there's a mixture of blood and sweat on the cymbals.
At the very end?
Where did that blood come from? Yeah.
Oh,
where'd the blood come from?
I have no idea.
Did you notice?
I don't know if it was his hands. It could have been just the lighting of the brass.
I suppose,
but maybe not. I have to.
It was a crimson. It was like a nice burgundy up there. It was like it was mixed in with the sweat.
Like the slow motion sequence of like when the music goes away during the final solo.
Yeah, it zooms in on the cymbal and you can see some drops up there.
Dang. Okay.
But like I never noticed what that's from, because like I suppose I would have healed by then, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, but then again, it could also just be he was playing so much to practice. He got into the obsession again, and it could all just come back.
It was like symbolism.
Yeah, like when I playing the drums, when I haven't played for a long time, like when I'm across the country for university,
Mhm.
I don't have a kit to play. Like when I go back and play, I get blisters instantly. Like it's and
Mm.
and they could end up bleeding if I don't stop and like take care of them.
Oh,
So like
and he dragged him into the thing, right? That's whenever he tricked him into playing the song that he doesn't know.
yeah,
And at that point, he hadn't played in a
and at that
while
point he hadn't
because
been
he
playing in a
gave
while. Yeah,
up.
because like it was music he already
Oh,
knew.
that
So that
makes
could be
sense.
where that stuff came from that you noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyways, yeah. So we overall it's just like an amazing film by Damien
It's a
Chazelle.
good ass
Like
movie.
love that movie with all my heart. My favorite movie, and will probably remain that, just because of the impact that it had on me watching it when I was younger, and then like slowly seeing it develop in my interpretation as I got older. But yeah, so it's basically two movies that have a huge music focus that we just talked about, that all
Yeah.
are somewhat tragic for the characters, but they both have significantly different endings, and it's interesting to see because it could have very much ended happily for Andrew, or could have ended badly for Baby, but those are the endings that we got, and so
Yeah.
it's really neat to see how that stuff developed. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's about all that we have to say for
I think
this.
that wraps it up. Yeah.
Okay, bye.